Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to the racing line for, you got it, it's the RLTC Championship. We are here for round 7 out of 12. We're back after a 1 week break, and we're past the halfway point. The second half of the season begins here, the American leg, and to start our American leg, we are in Canada, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, an underrated track, I think I'm gonna say, a layout that's not commonly used on iRacing, I don't think. And one that's not actually popularly owned, but hopefully today, as you all join us here on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch and the VCO eSports YouTube and Twitch, that this may be a good advert or a bad advert for the track. Who knows what's going to happen? We've got a whole host of touring cars obviously going to go around. We're back for the second half of the season. Race 19, 20 and 21. Can you believe we've done 21 races after tonight already? And then there's only 5 rounds to go after this. Wait, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 5 rounds. I've done that right. We know my maths is terrible. We've got in chat already. Zblade1 on YouTube says hi. Kakala with the emojis. VCO eSports have popped in to say hello. Of course, whether you're watching with us or over on VCO eSports, it's always good for the support across the board. BlackBob_ZFG is back once again. He says, come on, do the thing. And yes, he is on Twitch and he says hello. Mats has jumped in chat. He is, of course, one of the drivers. He's saying hello. So we see you. Of course, more and more of you are going to join as we go on through the night. But let's have a look at this little circuit and see where we're at. And let's have a catch up, shall we, on the championship itself of the RLTC, powered by GT Omega. Of course, you saw a cheeky little discount code there where you can get 5% off any GT Omega products. TRL is all you have to type in. What a nice, simple, easy 3-letter code for 5% off any product. Could be a cockpit, could be a seat, could be a mouse mat. Doesn't matter. Every little helps. Am I allowed to say that, or is that fully Tesco's slogan? Oh no, I've just said their name. They owe me. They're not sponsored. Tesco is not a sponsored product. Today is Murray and Downing's day, damn it. Black Bob is pretty certain the Goldwing boys is going to have a good day. Well, is that the case? Where are they currently? Those are the times on the left-hand side, and the cars that they're driving, and the flags of the countrymen that you see. And it's a pretty mixed up grid, as you can see. We've got a Brit on top. Jake Cranston is going to be looking for a strong climb back after a mid-season lull, shall we say. And Mats Borg-Anderson up there in the Honda as well. He's currently 2 tenths off, so Jake Cranston, a 25.2. That is an astonishing pace. Connor Mills there in 3rd place, 3 tenths down. Marcel Friesch leading the Hyundais in P4. He will be happy with that for sure at the moment. Dan Downing is up there. So Bob's prediction, not too far out the way right there. He's currently in P5 with Stephen King right behind him. Burkhardt there in P7, Bailiff P8, Mayerek in P9, Lequay, Fry. In fact, rather than me telling you their names, yeah, have a look at that. There you go. Now you can see their full surnames. See their names? There you go. It's only practice. We don't need to see the screen. What we do need to see is we need to have a catch up on the championship. It feels like, I don't know if it's just me. Oh, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like it has been a long time since we've been here. Let's have a look. Who is currently out on track? There's Marcel Friesch. Mats Borg-Anderson is currently the fastest man out on track. So there he is in the Honda. Look at the gradients, the hills on this circuit are absolutely insane. We had a few shout outs for this lovely looking purple car, the Meatball Motorsport Audi of Kieran Dempsey there. So let's focus on him as we go through. Well, let's go through the flights. Are you ready for the straightest flight you've ever seen? Where have we come from? Where have we gone? Well, we were in Italy last time out in Imola, and we go for a nice American airline straight over the ocean as it poodles across to the top end of America, shall we say. We're just here on Canada, near Toronto, for the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Bob said it's been forever. I actually had to do work last week because we weren't racing. 1 out of 10 do not recommend. Good lad. Good lad putting his work on the side whilst he watches these good boys go at it fairly intensely, I might add. Now, championship standings time. Let's have a catch up. Here is your team standings as they stand I've said stand way too much there. The team standings look like this. Fear Factor hold on to the lead just after Pulsus get a 1-2-3 in round 2 last time out. They closed to within 3 points of Fear Factor. 1-4-7-9 for Fear Factor and 1-4-7-6 for Pulsus. All Sports Racing hold on to third with the return of their third driver having a 200-point cushion on either side of that team. 200 points to catch to the next guy and 200 points behind. Not exactly, but roughly. Goldwing break away even further from the midfield fight there in P4 as they try to cement themselves as a top team. They've broken the 1,000-point mark, so there's no reason they can't. They just need to close that gap a little bit more before we start classing them as one of the top teams in the championship. But P4 is an astonishing effort from those boys. Lurchus Academy hold on to 5th with 843 points, but Meatball Motorsport closed that gap from 49 points to 22 with 821 in 6th place. Both teams, however, pull away from Win It or Bin It, who had a poor round at Imola. Can they improve in this American stint? There is one driver of theirs who can't make it this week. That is Andy Fox in the Audi. He will not be here today, as well as a quick shout out obviously for Donny Alpha Henriksen from Masters of Traction. He will also not be taken to the grid today as far as I'm aware. ORD closed to 18 points behind Win It or Bin It after their last few rounds with 689 points. They'll be looking to capitalise on today and move up a place in the team's championship for sure if all of those drivers can do well. Lurchus Gaming and Masters of Traction hold station in P9 and P10 with Lurchus Gaming's 100-point gap being sliced to 78 for Masters of Traction, but they have got a man down today, has MOT, so it's going to be a tall ask for them to close that. I mean, it's not out of the question though, as we see Kieran Dempsey in the background there going off for a little excavation. I can currently only see 25 drivers' names on the standings, so I wonder if we're going to see perhaps a few more not make it today. But let's have a look at the driver standings. This is where it's all at. So Harris, we've got some big news. Hello, Peter Ridley. Thank you for joining in chat. He says, evening, everyone on YouTube. Thanks for joining, of course, and watching wherever you're watching, whether it's with us or VCO eSports. Driver standings, big news. I know what you're all thinking. What is this big news? Well, it's massive. I don't know how else to put it. It's a big shock to some of us. But Damien Harris, your championship leader, who continues to lead with 610 points. He was 49 points ahead last round, but Mills managed to close the gap to 23 after taking advantage of a move that Harris pulled off in race 3 last time out, which ended up him retiring when he pulled a late move on Huffman. The biggest news over the mid-season break as we head into this American leg is that Damien Harris has decided to retire from the championship due to other commitments, leaving his seat at Fear Factor open for the RLTC reserve driver Jan Weiswanger to enter in his stead for the remainder of the season. Big blow to obviously the top end. I'm sure Mills and Burkhard will be a little bit, maybe have a smile on the face, but maybe sometimes not, because I know those boys love a challenge, and Damien was going to be tough to beat. Those three were going to go at it for the full season for sure. But Harris no longer with us. Phantom Jordan says hi on Twitch. Thank you for joining. Whilst this leaves the team massively vulnerable, Fear Factor, in the team standings, who only had a 3-point lead, Fear Factor drivers Marcel and Mats, Borg Anderson and Frisch, of course, have welcomed Jan into the team, and they will continue to push with their drivers and manufacturer campaigns, I'm sure. The team's championship might be out of reach now, but the other two still firmly in the game, and with Marcel, the current fastest Hyundai, there's no reason that he can't start climbing up that order as well. The fight is not over though, as Burkhard remains in P3, just 8 points behind Connor Mills, so the championship fight is still very much on. Mats and King hold on to P4 and 5, with Bailiff moving up to P6 with 419 points. Dempsey jumps both Goldwing drivers, Van Olst and Downing, to take P7, with Van Olst P8 and Downing in P9. Huffman drops from 6th to 10th with 391 points. Marcel holds on to P11 with Eric moving up to P12, passing Andre in P13. Fox stays in P14 with LeQuay closing in P15. Cranston returns and starts his climb back up into P16, passing Taki and Ridley in P17 and 18. Now the rest of them look a little bit like this. Carraday starts to come under pressure from Gibson's newfound form as Gibson closes to within 7 points of P19. Murray is P21 ahead of Corpus and Broberg, who are separated by just 2 points. And just when you thought it can't get any closer, the two Stevens in 24th and 25th are 1 point apart. Rounding off the field is Donny Alpha Henriksen, Jeremy Agard, Dan Blake, Jesus Amundere, and Dan Thornton. And that is your round off of the points. Godin Gamer says, cheers from Cancun, Mexico. Your guide videos helped me a lot! Exclamation mark. Oh, thank you. And that was on YouTube. Thanks for the comments. They really do mean a lot. That was the roundup of the points. So we can get rid of that now as we go and have a look at qualifying. You can see all the cars there in the background. It looks a little bit dark for qualifying here. That is interesting. Who is leading the train? It looks like it is Connor Mills. Current, if we exclude Damien Harris, it is current championship leader Connor Mills, with Dan Downing right behind him. So Connor decided to be first out on track. The tow down this back straight will be massive. It really will be. You see Mats Borg Andersen pulling out of this long train of cars. So 9 minutes of qualifying as they all come to close their out map. Eric Manentveld and Kieran Dempsey, looking at the track map, are quite far back. So they're going to have a nice little clean track to themselves. I think it's only right that we're going to jump on board with... I don't know who to jump on board with. It looks like Dan Downing is now leading the way, so Mills has let him past. Dan Downing leading the way. Let's have a look. Bob was rooting for him in chat. What can he do? Look at this. It's completely blind as he comes over the top of this hill. Down into turn 2. Big bump on the inside there if you cut that corner too much. He's taking a nice shallow line into this right-hander. I think Downing currently suffering with a little bit of COVID. Hello from Indonesia. I'm new here, excited for the race. Smiley face, says Vincent Kurniavan 777. Thanks for joining. This is the most difficult corner and what we're going to call the money corner for today. And do you know what? The Hyundai looks like it's tackled it nice and smoothly. He had no issues through there whatsoever. It's a really tricky corner because you go downhill and then come back up the hill as you start braking. You've got a big sausage curb on the inside that you do not want to touch. You have to kind of attack it at an angle where you go out wide, but if you go out too wide, you touch the grass and go off. But then still carry enough speed through and kind of bring your nose in and get the best exit you can. It's a real weird combination of corners before you head to this wicked section of 8, 9 and 10. Fast right, fast left, just slowly scrubbing off speed as you come through here. Looks like he understeered a little bit on the exit and then gets into the final right of turn 10 and across the line. Only 10 turns to worry about, technically 8. As turn 6 and 7 is along that main back straight. And Dan Downing posts the first time there. Stephen King goes faster. John Bailiff shoots to the top of the times with a 1:25.9. There we go. Should be. This is what we should have. Your best times up there. It's just sorting out that timing. So, Cranston shoots to the top of the timing. Well, can we say we're surprised? He looks rapid in practice, did Jake Cranston in the All Sports Racing Honda. Here he is. Stephen King's currently set a green first sector. Jake Cranston in the red, white and blue Honda. He's got Morgan Burkhardt, the team boss, behind him in the Audi. The American driver. Five minutes left to go of qualifying on this Monday. Don't know why I said it was Monday. Sunday yesterday. Mother's Day in the UK. Just before I panic anyone, I know that there are different days across the world. But in the UK it was in fact Mother's Day as Marcel Friesch shoots to the top of the times with a 1:25.6. Come to think of it, I know it's off topic, did not ring one's mother as Mats Borg Andersen goes to the top of the timing screen. So I will say it now, Mum, if you're watching, happy Mother's Day. Don't know if she'll join in chat. Don't know if she knows how to, but there you go. Happy Mother's Day, Mum. 5 minutes left for qualifying, and Matsborg Anderson takes to the top of the times. That is a fear factor 1-2 with Marcel Friesch in the Hyundai right behind him. He needs a good couple of rounds, does Marcel. He's had strong form all season, but he's been caught up in some unlucky accidents. Look at the Goldwing boys in 5th and 6th as well as Mannenfeld shoots up the times. 25 cars on track. Who? This is really bad of me, but who is missing? We know about Donny Alpha Henriksen. We know about Andy Fox. Jan Weissmanger is in the pits. He'll be starting today's race from the back, as he is, well, a new driver mid-season, taking over Damien Harris's seat. So that's that. That means we're still missing 3 drivers. Jameson Huffman, I think, looks to be one. So All Sports Racing in P3, missing a driver. I can't work it out from looking at those times. Is there a user Samundere missing as well? Or am I just making that up? User Samundere in the Hyundai. That'll be the best thing, actually. Count the cars, people. I'll let you do that whilst I concentrate on qualifying. How many of each car is on that left-hand side? The orange squares are the Hondas, the yellow squares are the Audis, and the blue squares are the Hyundais. As Cranston goes to the top of the times, and as we see Marcel Friesch go off onto the dirt, Burkhardt tucks it in behind. All 3 sectors fastest for Cranston, and he's towed his teammate round to a solid P2. Some teamwork going on there. Good question from Vincent Kerniman in YouTube chat. A question, is this qualifying just 10 minutes and that's it? Or do they have another one like this one is like a knockout round, or like this just it? This is the only, there's 10 minutes qualifying and then they go straight in. It's 3 races. So for those of you new joining us today, I can go through the format for you. Why not? We got time. Marcel Friesch is still parked on the outside of that corner. Yeah, so 10 minutes. They've all done 40 minutes practice. It's a 10-minute qualifying. Obviously, they're allowed to practice as much as they want before today. That's completely up to them. And we're then going to have 3 races. Each race is roughly 15 minutes. Today, around Canadian Tire, it's an 11-lap race. All 3 races are 11 laps. There are no pit stops. There's no need unless you've got some damage, which case you get fast repairs. Your first race is done in qualifying order. So whatever order they qualify in, that is where they're going to be starting. Your second race, your top 6 finishers are going to be reversed. If you finish 6th, you're going to be starting on 1st. And if you finish 1st, you're going to be starting in 6th for race 2. And we go straight into race 2. We then have race 3. We have a quick break before race 3, about 5 minutes. Oh dear, oh dear, that looks big. I don't know what happened then. Look at the state of that car. They need to get that fixed before they go back to the pits. Where was I? Race 3. After the 10-minute break, we go straight into race 3, where the top 12 of race 2 are reversed. So if you finish 12th in race 2, you'll start on 1st. If you finish 1st in race 2, you will be finishing on... I lost where I was, but you know what I'm saying. Alan Graham says 7, 8 and 9. I think he was counting each car. Andy Fox is driving an Audi. So we know where that missing Audi is. We then have a Mundere, Henriksen, and I named someone else in a Hyundai. Amundere and Henriksen are in Hyundais. I'm going to kick myself when I realise who the driver is I'm missing. Sebastian Broberg, maybe. Is it Sebastian Broberg, the Swedish driver? I think it might be. In the Honda. Yes, there we go. So that is who the missing driver is. There's 30 seconds left of this quali. Who is still out on track? I'll tell you who's still trying to climb up that order. Connor Mills, who's pulling around his teammate, Stephen King. They've only got 30 seconds left, and I'm not sure it lets them finish their times. I mean, I've got them all memorised, but when there's 25 drivers on my screen, Mr. Bob ZFG, It's hard to know which 3 are missing when I know of some of them who have messaged me and know some of them haven't. But that's enough of that, because it's time to go straight in. It's the first race. It's the smallest grid we've seen, actually, 25 drivers. I think we had a couple of 28s. But let's have a look at that official grid then. Here's how it ended up. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. So, Jake Cranston takes pole position for the Hondas once again. Hondas have been dominant this season in qualifying. Morgan Burkhardt right behind his teammate, the American all-sports driver there in the Audi, 1/10 behind. Mats Borgansen and Marcel Friescher on the second row. Mills and Murray on the third row. Murray once again showing outstanding qualifying pace. Can he hold it in the race? Andre Mayerek, Agard, Gibson and Downing. There's 2 ORD cars there. A Masters attraction car in the top 10. Daniel Downing there in P10 in the Hyundai. John Bailiff and Stephen King round off your 6th row of the grid. The next lot look like this. It's Burns, Dempsey, Blake and LeQuay. Blake's had a good qualifying there in 15th. Taki, Van Olst, Manenveld and Fry, Ridley, Corpus, Carraday and Dan Thornton, and Jan Weiswanger rounds off the field in 25th place today. Bob's going for me in chat. I can't read it in time because this is tense times now as we look at the grid. And that is actually not the best camera because we can't see them all. What is the best camera? Well, that's just zoomed fully in on Jake. This will be the best camera, I think. Well, here we go. This is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We've got 30 seconds left. Or is everyone on the grid? And it's about to start. Here come the lights then. Everyone's readied up on the grid.
Green flag, green flag.
And away they go. Here we go then. So who's got the best start? As Morgan Burkhardt in the Audi. He's going to get past Jake straight away on the lights. The Audi start absolutely blinding. And there goes Duncan Murray onto the grass already, but he managed to save it. That's good as they all come filtering down. Oh, and look at that. Stephen Burns is off. He's going to be going straight on somewhere. Has he managed to keep it on track? He has. I'll be surprised if he can hold that on. Connor Mills has gone off track down there as well, straight onto the grass. I wonder if he was helped. He's still there in P5 though, and he's got Joe Gibson. Is that Joseph Gibson right behind him in P6? It is Joe Gibson. What a great start for him there. So he's chasing down Connor Mills. Duncan Murray is still there in P7. Joe Gibson is up 3 places. John Bailiff and Stephen King are still together as they come into the dodgy corner, and that is Dan Downing up the inside of someone, and there goes Stephen Burns round and onto the grass again. I wonder if he's got damage because that car is looking fairly unstable as I can hear contact after contact. Carraday and Corpus together as they all come filtering through down this back straight, and down they go towards the fast sweeping right of 8, 9 and 10. Jan Weiswanger on his debut there has gained 2 places on this back straight. Can he gain any more in the Fear Factor Audi? Look at him go. He's 3 places up. Into 22nd is Jan Weiswanger, but leading the way, Morgan Burkhardt into this final section. Here they come through into 8, 9 and 10. They head towards the final corner. You'll see the numbers change on their LED screens. Look at them all come flying through. This is Eric Manenveld in P16. He's up 3 places. We've had a few gain 3. Dan Blake has dropped 3 places, so everyone's swapping round single file as they all come down towards turn 1. Is anybody else going to go off? Have we got any more off tracks as they all come sweeping through this next corner? Big sweepers round here as we get a nice turn 2 drone shot of them coming through. Connor Mills chasing down the Fear Factor boys. It's always chaotic on the first lap, and look how many of them. They're still all together as we see Taki and Weiswanger going at it. So Weiswanger coming under pressure from some of the drivers behind. Dan Thornton there in 25th place. He'll be hoping to catch up with you. Look at the view of this long right-hander. You see how the inside just opens up. None of them opt in to take that inside line to pass anyone except for Stephen King there, I think. Is that Andre Mayerek he's trying to pass as they head down the back straight. Stephen King on the inside. He's going to get the slipstream from his teammate John Bailiff up ahead. What does it look like on front of his car? This is what it looks like. And Andre Mayerek is somewhere there on the left-hand side. I'm telling you, somewhere on the left-hand side is Andre Mayerek. It looks like that move is done. Yeah, Andre's tucked in behind and he's let that one go. There's a big 1 second gap between Ika LeQuay back here with Sam Van Olst all over his bumper. So how can Sam, look at him, he's just pushing him through, his Sam Van Olst. Absolutely stuck to the back of that Audi. Where's he going to make this move? Sam Van Olst on board. Oh, he's gone off. He's onto the grass. That's not going to be how he gets a move done, as I think Mills has gone off track and maybe passed someone there. There's some smoke up ahead. And that is Morgan Burkhardt tumbling down the order. That's why we see people going up. Morgan Burkhardt's in big trouble. He's had an off somewhere, and he's got a puncture. He's made contact with something. His front wheel is broken. Morgan Burkhardt, after leading the first phase of this race, is he going to come to a stop, or can he bring it round? He should be able to bring that car round. He's pulling over. Morgan Burkhardt, drama as he's gone off track. And now Jake Cranston, his teammate, leads the way, and Mats Borg Andersen a second back. Let's have a look at some of these replays and see if we can catch up on what happens. Stephen Burns first. He was the first one to have the big off. So this is a replay. He's already had the first crash. Dan Downing sends out the inside. And look, he just lost the rear end, did Stephen Burns, as he rotated round off the track. And then we saw Ika Lequay have an off somewhere. Was it turn one? He sends it into the fast right. He's going to dip a wheel on the grass on the exit, I imagine. There he goes. Sam follows him, so they both go off track and bounce their way on. Jan Weiswanger, the newbie. Did he do the same thing? He did indeed. There he goes. We said that. Oh, look at that. Nice drift by Jan Weiswanger, keeping it out the wall. Connor Mills, I think we saw. This was just a small one. I'm going to get crucified for this in chat afterwards. People love looking at a 1X when there's a live race going on. But these 1Xs are important, especially the one that we've all been waiting for. What happened to Morgan Burkhardt? Oh, no! He's tagged around Joe Gibson. That looked clumsy. How can we have another look at that? Let's slow it down a little bit and look at it from above. So Connor Mills has gone off. Morgan Burkhardt, I think, panics and just brakes a little bit too late. Hits Joe Gibson there, who was in P6. He's having a hell of a race. And Connor gets on the brakes. I think he's going to try and help Joe Gibson go back round. I mean, I'm not saying that's what he consciously did. And can Joe keep it on track? I think Joe does, but Morgan Burkhardt, as a result of that, gets a puncture, and I believe is out of this race. How did he get in that position? Indeed, he was in P1. I'll tell you what, let's have a look. I think it shows it around here somewhere, so it looks like he's blinking a little bit as they head down this back straight. Jake Cranston all over the back of his teammate for All Sports Racing. The two Fear Factor boys from behind. Jake Cranston sends it into T8, into T9, so he's in second now. Is there contact? Mats Borg Andersen, big lunge into the final corner. That's where it happened. So Mats Borg Andersen made a little bit of contact with him, and that's how he slipped down the order. So then from there, he needed to get his head back in the game, and that's where we saw the contact. But what has been happening in this race since? Cranston still leads, 1.6 from Mats Borg Andersen. Marcel Frisch still right behind. Connor Mills is chasing down Marcel. This is Mats Borg Andersen. We just caught it. He's gone off. Mats Borg Andersen makes a quick slide round turn 5, and Connor Mills and Marcel Frisch go through. He's just broken too deep. Onto the gravel he goes and spins. Well, he's kept it in though. The race isn't over for Mats Borg Andersen, as Sam Van Olst is looking ever closer to Ika Lequay here. This is live. We're on lap 5 of 11. The race is flying by. Downing and Agard have just swapped places there in P9 and 10. They're up ahead. You can see them going side by side through this. Dan Downing on the inside of Jerry Agard. Can he hold it? Jerry Agard's going to hold it around the outside. He's got the inside for the final corner as Jerry. And Dan Downing's still going to try and hold it. And now they're going to be side by side as they head down to turn 1. But look how much this fight is slowing them up. Andre Majorek behind is weaving all over the place trying to find space. And now Jerry Agard, I think, is going to have to concede as Dan Downing swoops around the outside of turn 1 as Jerry Agard defends from Andre Majorek there. That was great defending from Jerry to hold on to P10. Andre there still trying to find a way through. Sam Van Olst hasn't passed Ika Lequay, so that fight continues. Kieran Dempsey under pressure from Dan Blake there in the winner or bin it Hyundai. He's having one of his best races, I think, here. I'm not saying he might have finished higher than this. I need to check the stats on that one, but to be fair, we haven't seen Dan Blake much this season, but he's having a cracking race, and I hope, to be honest, I hope he holds on to it with 5 laps to go. Lap 6 of 11. into this turn they go, and Eric Mannenveld optimistic up the inside of turn 5. I didn't think we'd see it. He's giving it a go. Dan Blake gets the better exit, and look at Carl Ridley on the grass there from Eric Mannenveld. He's going to have to tuck him behind. A lot of contact and offs before even half the race. It happens in touring cars, but in fairness, I think those contacts, they're never malicious so far, as Connor Mills has passed Marcel Friesch. How did that happen for P2? Down the back straight into the slipstream. He's going to go around the outside of turn 8 and 9. Tide Panda in Twitch chat says VCO, of course. Thanks for watching wherever you're watching, whether it's with us on the Racing Line or whether it's with VCO eSports on their YouTube or Twitch. But there we go. It's actually looked fairly easy for Connor around the outside of the Hyundai. There are still plenty of fights going on, and I think Jake Cranston's just setting purple sector after purple sector there in the lead. Looking fairly in control of this race, but give a quick shout out to your boy Duncan Murray, number 33 in the Goldwing Honda with Stephen King and John Bailiff behind him. He's holding on. Look at Stephen King flashing his lights. This is what it looks like from behind Duncan Murray as they go down turn 2. Big bump and sparks coming from that Hyundai behind. He's got two Pulsars eSports boys next to him. Has he got a bit wide here into turn 5? Stephen King now all over his bumper. They're on the back straight. Can Stephen King get a run? He's going to push him along, I think. So Duncan moves to the inside. And now he's going to have to defend all the way down this back straight whilst King tries to go around the outside of this next sweeper. We've seen it done before. King and Murray side by side. John Bailiff's going to look to capitalise. Joe Gibson still very much in this race there in P8, so he'll be over the moon. Stephen King swoops into turn 8, holding it round the outside of Duncan Murray. Oh, there's contact. Is he going to go off onto the grass? He doesn't. He holds it onto the inside of 9. Duncan Murray swoops round the outside. He's on the inside of 10. Can Stephen King get the switch back? No! Duncan Murray holds on just about to P5. Wow. Black Bob says, I told you it's Murray's time to shine. And yes, it was. There was a bit of contact. It was always risky. These two were practicing this, funnily enough, in the practice where Netcode actually made Duncan Murray lose out. Stephen Fry and Eric Mannenveld have just swapped places into turn 1. So Fry sending out the inside of Mannenveld in the Hyundai, also having a good race in the Meatball Motorsport car. I do like those purple and orange cars. They really stand out. I don't know about you guys at home, but for me, that is one of the standout liveries on the grid, is the Meatball Motorsport one, and I think they just chucked it together. Peter Ridley says, go on, Duncan. I was just wondering, is there safety car or penalties enabled in this race? There are penalties in these races. You get penalties for... we rarely see the drive-throughs, to be honest. There's an X limit. But they don't actually reach it. These cars can take a beating. As Eric Mannenveld, I think, goes off, and then Corpus gives him a nudge for good measure. That's his teammate. He's just absolutely boofed off there into that corner. Jan Weiswanger there in 21st place. Look, we rarely see a drive-through. They have to be pretty bad to get a drive-through, to be honest. As we see people swapping over left, right, and centre. That was Stephen King and Duncan Murray, I think, who's just swapped. Or was this what we saw earlier? This looks like a mirror image, to be honest. Oh no, this was a second take because Stephen King is further ahead. And look at that. Swoops round the outside of Duncan Murray into turn 9, and he's got the move done. In terms of safety car, thank you for the question. We do see safety cars, but only ever if half the field is wiped out in a big pile-up. If it tends to be a 1 or 2 person crash, then off they go, because the minimum safety car requirement is 3 laps, and we don't want to be spending all the races, and we tend to limit it to 1 a race if it does happen. But so far, we've seen a few safety cars over the season, but not in every race, which is great stuff. But Stephen King will be happy with that move for P5, and now it's John Bailiff's turn to chase down Duncan Murray. Joe Gibson sitting pretty in P8, Dan down in P9. Jerry Agard in the top 10 for Masters of Traction. He'll be over the moon with that. He's just going to be hoping he can bring it home. There's only 2 laps left of race 1. 11 laps. We're on lap 9. And Stephen Fry, I think, has gone off track again. Has he lost the position as a result? He might do. Eric Mannenveld's looking a little bit faster on the exit of that corner. See him in the distance there. It's Stephen Burns. So yeah, looks like Fry has moved over and he's letting Mannenveld through. So I wonder if he made a mistake because he didn't defend that hard. As John Bailiff and Duncan Murray are going side by side. Murray's on the inside of 9. Bailiff on the outside, but it's going to give him the inside of 10. And look at this. Duncan Murray's tyres must be going off because John Bailiff has absolutely got the move done, but he has to give room to Duncan on the outside. And Joe Gibson's going to get involved into the fight. He's going to make it free wide into turn 1. Free wide. Joe Gibson backs out. Duncan Murray's still on the outside. He's holding it. He's holding it to John Bailiff, who tries running Duncan off, but gives him just the right amount of room. And Dan Downing's coming through to take advantage of Joe Gibson. Dan Downing has moved up a position in the Hyundai back there. John Bailiff has passed Duncan Murray into turn 3. They go. He has to defend from the Honda. Duncan Murray in South Africa. There was contact there as Duncan heads round the outside. He needs to be careful with that accelerator because if he touches the grass there, he's going to go off. Dan Downing now right behind, and the two Goldwing teammates are going to go side by side into this next corner. Surely not. No, Dan Downing thinks better of it, but he has got Joe Gibson all right there behind him. Who's going to get a better exit? Dan Downing absolutely mounting the curb there. Did you see the way that Hyundai lifted off the ground as they head down towards 8, 9 and 10? And look at the gap. If you look at the track map in the top right, 4.2 seconds Jake Cranston has pulled off in the lead. We haven't seen him all race. Lequay and Mayerek swapping places. So Lequay's on the inside as they head down towards 8, 9 and 10. This track, we said it was going to produce good racing. We did not think it was going to be like this. I mean, we got rid of the early contacts and a few people on the grass. Dempsey and Blake still going at it. Dempsey swoops round the outside. And look at this, Sam Van Olst on the inside of Blake into turn 9. That gives Blake the inside of turn 10. That complex of corners is amazing for racing as long as people give room. Mayerek chasing down Lequay. I genuinely don't know who's going to come out on top in any of these fights. Sam Van Olst looking to make his way up the grid. He hasn't practiced this track before, and look how close he gets to the wall through turn 1. He's going to hit the grass there. Blake and Ridley are together. The win it or bin it boys. Dempsey, I think, is gaining another place on the inside of Andre Mayerek into turn 2. But Mayerek's going to try and hold it around the outside, and it's going to give him the inside of turn 3, but he's going to have to brake late. He does brake late, and Dempsey's going to try and hold it around the outside. Look how close they're getting. I'm really surprised in a good way that no one is getting roofed off here, but the Goldwing boys really going at it. Murray in P7, Downing in P8. Van Olst there trying to make gains as he passes Andre Mayerek as well, and Mayerek sends it to the inside of 5. That would have been close to contact for sure. Van Olst keeps the position, and Dan Blake swoops around the outside of turn 5. Has he got his car there? He has. Has he got the run? Dan Blake in Win It or Bin It has got the run down that back corner. Jake Cranston is entering the final complex, but look at all these guys after 11 laps of racing. They're nose to tail. The checkered flag's going to come out. Jake Cranston is coming around the final corner. Are there going to be any more moves made? We have to see our leader. Here he is. First race back into the American leg. Round 7. Jake Cranston takes the win for the Honda with Connor Mills coming home in P2. Marcel Frisch at podium for the Austrian driver in the Hyundai. It's a Honda Audi Hyundai podium. How often have we seen that? Mats Borg-Hansen comes home in P4. King and Bailiff 5th and 6th. Murray and Downing 7th and 8th. And Gibson a top 10. And Jerry Agard, the Swiss driver for Masters Attraction, a top 10. Joe Gibson flashing his lights in happiness. And I didn't see if anyone else passed in the background there, to be honest, because so much was going on. and can you believe it? Remember what I said earlier? No break into the next round. So the grid for this next race looks like this. Remember, it's a reverse top 6. So John Bailiff. Whoa, what's happened to the grid here? This is not what it's meant to look like. Here we go. John Bailiff is pole position. Stephen King second. So a Pulsus 1-2 on the front row. I wonder if that was tactical. Mats Borg-Hansen and Marcel Frisch, Fear Factor second row. Mills, Cranston, Murray, Downing, Gibson, Agard, Lequay and Dempsey. Van Olst, Blake, Mayerek, Ridley, Corpus Burns, Mannenfeld, Fry, Weiswanger in 21st, Taki, Carraday and Thornton, and Morgan Burkhardt has got it all to do. From 25th place on the grid is Morgan Burkhardt. He's got a tall job, but if he can get 12th in this race, that's what he's aiming for here. He's aiming for 12th, because that will put him on reverse pole position for race 3 after the break. Thank you all once again for joining us. Racing Line YouTube and Twitch. VCO eSports YouTube and Twitch. The lights are on. It's a Honda on the front row, a Hyundai in second, and a Honda in the third row. And it looks like Mats Borg-Hansen may have had a jump start there. He's going to be fuming with himself. He looks like he's sluggish off the exit, so I wonder if he's just wallowing in sorrow there. And it's a Pulsus 1-2-3. Not again. No, I'm going to get absolutely hounded for this, as Dan Blake has had a big crash in the background He's off into the wall. He's out. His race 2 is done. Dan Blake is out of this race. Look at that car feeling sorry for itself. Corpus and that are going. Corpus and that. The 2 Lurchus Academy cars. Morgan Burkhardt's off on the grass already. He didn't get help. Ridley sends it up the inside of someone there. That's Carraday in the Lurchus gaming car. He's got Mod Tacky in front of him there. I wonder what happened to Dan Blake. But wow, what a start for the Audi of Connor Mills, straight up in. But Mats Borg Anderson, keep an eye on him because I reckon he's going to be coming into the pits with a drive-through. That's madness that he jumped the start. We haven't seen that for so long in one of the front runners. We've seen it from some of the people at the back. But he will be fuming with himself after that. And Cranston is in P5. He'll be waiting for that to happen. Marcel Friesch, I don't think, jumped the start, so he's okay. He'll be gaining a position from that. It just looked like the Honda lifted up a bit. As I think Stephen King is letting Connor Mills through. It does look like it, so there's very much team tactics at play now. Look at that, one championship leader drops out, and now all the tactics come out to play. Mats Borg Anderson does dive into the pits, so there we go. We were talking about penalties earlier. There's a penalty for you, a jump start penalty, and it's going to be massive. Watch how far down he comes out. As Jake Cranston is trying to make moves, he looks into turn 1. Stephen King is going to be the guy that's defending from him. Now these two have had run-ins on track before. How many times have we seen them go at it in the Jetta Cup? Your top 2 for the last 2 seasons of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup here on the Racing Line channel. And here they are again in third and fourth, fighting in different cars, Honda versus Hyundai. And well, we hope it doesn't end. It's like we have to bring it up. Summit Point Season 1, where Stevie ended up in the wall, final corner, final lap, and Jake didn't even get the win. Actually, they were fighting for the win, and Henry Morse, one of the other drivers, snuck through to take the win last second as a result of the contact. Vincent says, great first race, great commentating from you, and now let's go for the second race. That's right. Thank you for joining us. Stephen King's looking like he's under a lot of pressure here in this slipstream zone. This is what it looks like from the inside of Cranston's car. So he's got the slipstream all the way down, and Mats Borg Anderson has just left the pits. So that's how much that penalty is going to affect him, but we saw the pace that Cranston had. And these guys are going to be fully fighting it into turn 9. I wonder if Cranston's just going to sort of pick his moment. Is he going to be patient? Is he going to wait for Stephen to make a mistake, or is he going to absolutely lunge it when Stephen's asleep? Mr. King there in 3rd place, and Bailiff has let Mills go into turn 1. It's a risky track, this. And when you're right behind the car in front, we can pretty much see what Cranston's seeing right now. But when you're right behind the car in front, you just can't see your braking and your turning points around this circuit. But look at the exit. Cranston gets out of here. Where is Stevie going to place his car? He's on the inside. Jake's on the grass. Yeah, it's always risky. Into turn 5 they go. Who's the car behind? It's Marcel Friesch. This is what it looks like from Marcel's point of view. He's going to struggle to get a good exit out of there when he bounces over the curb like that, Mr. Friesch. Joe Gibson's behind him. Fastest lap. Yeah, I'll tell you what, chat will like this. Fan favourite. Duncan Murray currently has the fastest lap of this race with a 1:25.9. He's currently sat in 7th place. Ike Lequay's up in the top 8 again. He's had a sterling season. It's our first touring car season on the channel. And Ike Lequay has absolutely shown people up as Cranston is going for a move. And now he's on the outside of turn 9. Looks like John Bailiff is going to defend into the final corner. He has. Cranston has got Stephen King. He's now sat in P3. It's going to be interesting now because he's in a Pulsar eSports sandwich, but Stephen King couldn't hold on as they go on to lap 4 of this race out of 11. John Bailiff into turn 1 is going to try his best, I'm sure, to kind of try and get Connor a decent lead. 1.1 seconds. Jake Cranston looks to the outside of turn 2. I would imagine we're going to see some team play for the first time. Some decent team play, I hope. It's going to be like the DRS games in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix yesterday, I imagine. But look at this. That doesn't look like John's going that fast. Weisfanger's making moves back there. Look at that. He's up the inside of Carraday, up into P17. But where is Morgan Burkhard? He's in P19, up 6 places, so he's got these two in front of him. Carraday turns in. Morgan Burkhard sneaks up the inside. That was clumsy from the two drivers there. Carl Ridley's going to make his way through as well. argy-bargy through turn 5. We knew it was going to get a little bit close through there. I'd like to see that again, to be honest. I mean, Jan Weisswang is very much up the inside. I don't know. We'll have to have a look at it in the stewards. I don't know if that will be a penalty, purely because Caraday could have backed out of it. No one's really at fault. Possibly a racing incident from first look, to be honest. You can let me know in chat. What's your opinions on that one? As Jake Cranston is now very much in P2, so John Bailiff's defence is already over. The pace advantage that that boy has round this track is unbelievable. He has been putting in the practice as John Bailiff is on the inside of 8. So Cranston's going to do it again round the outside. He's going to have the inside of 9. He got it done before the next corner. It was too good to be true. They were never going to get another 1, 2, 3, surely. But now, next on his radar, with 6 laps to go, is Connor Mills, your race leader. 1.8 seconds in the lead. 2 seconds as they approach the apex of turn 5. Dan Blake is back out on track after repairing his car. Dempsey and Lecquay are swapping over back there on the exit. This is for P8 and 9. The 2 Audis going at it. And look at the Goldwing cars. That's Downing and Van Olst. Now these 3 are regularly in this area for race 2, and we know why. They want to go for their shot for glory in race 3 with a potential win. Andre Mayarek, a race 3 winner last time out, I think it was. Or was it Hungaroring? I can't remember. I think it might have been Hungaroring actually, but Andre Mayarek, a race 3 winner nonetheless. And Lecquay has been up there quite often as well. Jake Cranston has now set the fastest lap. Burkhardt's made another move on Manenveld. He's got 5 laps to get from 16th to 12th. It's not too much of an ask with the pace that he had, but can he get past the people quick enough? That's the question. Currently in P16, a second to go to Corpus, Agard and Burns there in P13. The Scottish driver, Stephen Burns, ahead of his teammate. He's got Andre Mayarek ahead of him. That is reverse pole that he can see. That's a big penalty in the steward's room afterwards if you are deemed to take an advantage to get reverse pole. I need to reread the rules to brush up on exactly what it is, but I wouldn't go as far as saying it's quite a hefty time penalty or a possible disqualification from one of the races, so it's not worth it for points. Swapped over with John Bailiff, or past him. I don't know if there's team orders going on, to be honest. Not sat here, but Marcel Friesch is there behind in P5 still. He's having a great race as Marcel. Great round for him at Canadian Tire. Thornton and Taki are going out. Oh, Thornton's off the track. How did this happen? Ooh, very clumsy from the 2 boys at the back. Oh, and Taki was in the wall as well, so his race might be over. That one will be looked at for sure. Very hit or miss, Mr. Thornton is. We either see him in the steward's room for penalties, or he pops in to see everybody else get penalties after he's had a cracking race. Caraday went way off on the grass there, and Thornton goes up another place. 1.6 seconds the gap now from Jake Cranston and Connor Mills. And Morgan Burkhardt is up into 15th actually, so he has passed Mr. Corpus already. How did we get that done? On the inside of turn 3. Gives him the outside line for turn 4. Oh, swoops in. Look at that for a move. Morgan Burkhardt round the outside of turn 4. Great stuff. Lap 8 of 11. 3 laps to go then. 1.6 seconds between your leader and second place. But we're all watching this man who started 25th. He's up into 15th place. He's looking to salvage any points he can from this round. At the moment, Connor Mills is extending that championship lead. Vincent might be right. We'll have a look at it afterwards. We'll go offline and all the penalties will be handed out. And by next week, the championship order is decided. Duncan Murray, Joseph Gibson. Joe Gibson trying to pass Murray. Well, actually, it says Murray passed Joe Gibson there. That is correct. I got that wrong. I've just done a crofty. The Sam Van Alst passed Dan Downing there. How did Duncan pass Joe? Gets the inside for turn 2. No, 4. Inside for turn 4. Go down the hill. There was a bit of contact there as they head down towards turn 5. Some of the incidents we've seen. I'm not surprised Joe didn't hold it around the outside there. Dan Downing went off track. That'll be how Sam... Oh, no. Dan Downing has had a right undoing. Let's see what's happened here. Oh, dear. Big crash for the Scottish driver of Burns and Dan Downing in the Goldwing car. I didn't even see what happened. That happened so fast. I didn't even see what happened. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can really figure out where that is. What happens here. Onto the gravel he goes. Big spin. He's going to lose all of his run. Oh, I'm not even sure what happened there. They both come to a stop. And away they go. Let's go back live and see what's happening then. Because now, Duncan Murray and Sam Van Alst are together on track and they're chasing down Mr. LeQuay. So LeQuay is in a Goldwing sandwich. Burkhard's up into 13th thanks to that crash. He's now 1 place away from reverse grid pole is Burkhard. He's chasing down Jerry Agard. He's on the inside. Jerry Agard's moved over. He's let him have the inside. Morgan Burkhard's going to take P12 from Jeremy Agard. And he's going to move up into reverse grid pole. That's going to be a comeback. And it's going to put him in a great place to win race 3 for sure. So Morgan Burkhard has Ridley and Fryer going at it side by side through these corners. Listen to those curves as those cars really ride the curves around 8 and 9. 1 lap to go here. And Morgan Burkhard moves up into reverse grid pole. He's going to have Andre Marek on the front row with him. Oh, I've just seen some more cars go off. That's Van Alst and LeQuay, both drifting the Audis onto the grass. They're going to tumble down the order. Can LeQuay get back on the circuit? Look at all 3 Lurchers Academy cars on shot. Sam Van Alst goes through. I wonder if they both did the same thing and followed each other off. That's going to... Sam Van Alst is currently on reverse pole as a result of that. LeQuay's going to be wanting to fight that back. Stephen Burns comes out the pit exit after that crash. 1 lap to go after this. Connor Mills still leading the way by 1.7 seconds, so he's got the place to hold off Cranston. Ika LeQuay and Sam Van Alst off track. How did that happen? Was it contact? Yes. That was the answer to that. A bit of a tap from behind. And then another tap from behind. I think Sam needs to give that back, to be honest. If you can. I'm not sure how I can get that message to him. But he's going to be in for a massive, an absolutely massive penalty if he doesn't give it back, because it was for a reverse grid pole. Even if he doesn't think it was his fault. But we'll see. He's not going to give it back. That is what it is. This is why you need, or why we're planning on expanding when we go into future seasons, to have some people in race control. Duncan Murray there is still chasing down Joe Gibson for P7 on the last lap of this race. 1.6 seconds the gap. 4 tenths. Marcel Friesch is closing down on John Bailiff. It's looking close up ahead too. Look at that. Last lap. Where is Connor Mills and Jake Cranston? This is what it looks like from your leaders. The white flag is out. The checkered flag is coming out. Round the final corner. And Connor Mills, 1.5 seconds from Jake Cranston, who's had a cracking race. Both of them up 4 places from the start. Connor Mills takes a race 2 win. Jake Cranston comes home in P2 after finishing first in race 1. Stephen King comes with another podium. So it's a 1-3 for Pulsus. 1-3-4 with Bailiff in P4. Marcel Friesch there in P5. Kieran Dempsey, the underdog of Meatball Motorsport. In P6, Joe Gibson. P7. He's had another great race. P8 for Murray. Morgan Burkhardt. Andre Mayerek. Jerry Agard. P11. Ika Lequay is showing up as 12th, so I wonder if he did give that back. Out of choice. Looks like it is what goes around comes around. I think he's got a lucky escape there, has Mr. Vinos, to be honest, because that's avoided a lot of headache in the steward's room afterwards, I think we can say. It is break time, by the way, people. So race 3, we've got one more race in about 8 minutes' time. And I will go through the results of the first 2 any second now. Let's just have a look at some better scenic cams. There we go. Let's have some nice view of the Castrol building as we have a look. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. I was just grabbing a quick drink. Chill race but only compared to race 1, says Alan Graham. Yeah, not far wrong there. Who are the big guns in this championship? Who are the big guys in this championship? If you haven't worked out yet, let's have a look at the race 1 results. Here we go then. So your winner, this is your winner of race 1, Jake Cranston. Was very much in the run-in as a big gun in the championship, I think, but he did have to sit out 2 rounds for a race suspension due to a misconduct infringement in one of the rounds earlier on. Connor Mills is probably currently leading the championship now in P2, so he is one of the ones that you need to be watching. Marcel Friesch, he had a slow start to the season, but he is there in P3 in this race. He's been really coming to form. Mats Borg Anderson has been fairly quick all season. He's been up there in the championship. Stephen King has been just slowly picking away at those points, and it's been showing consistent finishes in the top end, but no, only 1 win to his name. John Bailiff is there in P6 from race 1. He missed a round due to an event. He went to an event, so he's done quite well to stay where he is in the championship. Duncan Murray has had an up and down season, but he can put in the results. He's got a podium to his name this season. It was so shocking that I forgot to announce the winner. Daniel Downing there has had his chance at wins. They've slipped for one reason or another, but he's had pace. How can I say it? To be fair, he's really scraped pace out of that car. He's put in the work for it as well. Joe Gibson, a slow start to the season. Really coming alive now in the second half. Jerry Agard's there in P10. He'll be over the moon with that result. He's been there or thereabouts, and then it just never goes his way. But today very much has. Ika Lequay has been probably one of the surprise drivers for me. Not in the way that I thought he was going to be bad, but in the way that he's been really consistent in this car. And he's been up there quite regularly, more so than we see him in the Jetta Cup for sure. Kieran Dempsey Always under the radar in the purple Meatball Motorsport car. Sam Van Nolst could be a lot higher, but very much getting penalties nearly every round. I think he's only had 2 penaltyless rounds and on his way to a quali ban if it continues. But I think he'll get away with that now that we saw that it got swapped round with Jerry's contact. Dan Blake there in P14 in race 1. He done well there. He's been struggling in that car, to be honest, in the Elantra. The Elantra got an update recently on iRacing. It seems to have worked for the better for some of the drivers. But yeah, first part of the season really was not getting along well with that car. Andre Mayerex in P15 in race 1. Doesn't show his pace really. In practices, he's been fastest pretty regularly. And then in the races, for one reason or another, it comes undone. But he's got a race win to his name as Andre Mayerex. Been a long time coming, and I'm sure he was over the moon. Kyle Ridley is one who you could say not we expected more from, but has been involved in his fair share of incidents this time round. But we don't play it on him. He's our only Australian driver of the grid. It's early out there. David Corpus there in Lurch's Academy, a new driver here to the racing line. So can't say much about him actually. Didn't know what to expect, but he's there in P17 in this race. Stephen Burns is there in P18 in that race. Eric Mannenveld, he's been quick, so a poor result actually for him. Stephen Fry there has done well for P20. Jan Weiswanger, his first round today, and will remain in that team for the rest of the season. Mod Taki, speaking of early mornings, the Malaysian driver Mod Taki, he's having a nightmare here today. He's normally quicker than that. He's my current underdog, who I'm willing for a top 5 result. I'll be over the moon for that boy. Alejandro Caraday there, the Spanish driver in Lurch's Gaming 2. Dan Thornton and Morgan Burkhardt is your other big hitter, to answer your original question. He's currently 2nd in the championship. So 25th would have been a big blow for sure, but it's not over. And he will come back from that. The race 2 results look like this. Connor Mills was your winner. Jake Cranston in P2. So the same top 2, just reversed. Stephen King, John Bailiff, Marcel Friesch, Kieran Dempsey, Joe Gibson, Duncan Murray, Burkhardt and Mayerex. And Burkhardt went up to P9 after starting from 25th. Andre Mayerex, Jerry Agard, Ika Lequay are there in 10th, 11th and 12th. Van Olst, Corpus, Mannenveld, Ridley, Fry, Weiswanger. Look at all the Lurch's Academy cars there in 12th, 14th and 15th. Decent points for them. And then we've got Caraday, Thornton, Taki, Anderson, Blake, Downing and Burns. Anderson will be disappointed with that 9 points in race 2, and he'll be one to watch in the next one if he can keep it together. Andre Mayerex jumps in chat and says that's a lot of fun tonight. That's good to hear. How long we got left? About 50 seconds. See if I can get through the Manufacturer Championship in 50 seconds. 40 seconds now. Your Audi Championship looks like... Oh, wait. No, hang on. That's not the right one. It's this one. That's why it said 0 points. Damien Harris was the leader of the Audis. This is before today's round. Connor Mills, Morgan Burkhardt, Dempsey, Van Olst, Fox, Lequay, Taki, Gibson and Burns. Those are your 10 Audi drivers. Fox not here today. Everyone else, I believe... Oh, well, Harris is not. Weiswanger will be added to that board next time out. Your Hyundai Championship. Not going to get through these in time. King, Downing, Huffman, Friesch, Mannenveld, Fry, Henriksen, Blake, Amundere and Thornton. So Amundere, Huffman and Henriksen not here for the Hyundais today. It's 4 drivers. And then your Civics, Anderson, Bailiff, Mayerex, Cranston, Ridley, Caraday, Murray, Corpus, Broberg and Agard. Broberg not here today either. Well, it's time. Your grid for this race looks like this. This needs to be done quickly. On pole position for the final race of tonight. Ika, Lequay, Jerry Agard, Mayerex, Burkhardt, Murray, Gibson, Dempsey, Friesch, Bailiff, King, Cranston and Mills down in P12. Van Olst, Corpus, Mannenveld, Ridley, Fry, Weiswanger, Caraday, Thornton, Taki, Anderson, Blake, Downing and Stephen Burns round off your field. Keep an eye on those guys at the back because they've got pace and they're a little bit out of position of sorts, but it is time to get this started. Here we go then. Track map is on. I'm going to get myself comfortable for this final race. Dan Downing currently not on the grid. Take a few more sips of my drink. Here he is. with 3 seconds to spare. Jerry Agard's flashing his lights. He's starting on the front row. The lights are on. Here we go. 11 more laps. Our final race of the day for round 7 here at Canadian Tire. 5 lights are on and away they go. Equal on pole in the Audi. Is going to get a great start from Jerry Agard. And look at Morgan Burkhardt there. He's going to try and gain as many positions as he can off the start. Joe Gibson's there, going to try and go around the outside. Andre Majorek defends solidly the inside of turn 1 and absolutely stops Morgan Burkhardt's charge. Can he help his teammate Joe Gibson on the inside of turn 2? And is anyone going to go off by carrying too much speed into that corner? Andre Majorek firmly defends, and the Polsters boys back there are going to need to keep it. Oh my God. Was that Jan Weiswanger that I just saw going flying off in the background? I think it might have been. Taki's come in with a crash as well. We've heard more contact up the road. Who is it and how? Stephen Burns, I think, was involved in that again. Taki is somehow off. It wasn't Weiswanger, I don't think, because he's still on the back of the train. We've seen Taki go for a fair few flyovers. Connor Mills and Marcel Friesch going at it. Marcel on the grass. Little bit of door banging. Been warned against this, and Manenveld's trying to come through as well on the back straight. Going to try and make it 3 wide is Eric Manenveld. He doesn't want to do that. Surely he's going to do it anyway. They're going 3 wide towards turn 8. That's dangerous, and Manenveld does shut the door. Not Manenveld, Friesch shut the door. It was risky, but he had to get it done, I think, because it would have been clumsy otherwise, being the car on the outside. Sam Van Olst barges his way through. Marcel Friesch on the inside of turn 9. Can Sam Van Olst gain the position? I think he has. He's on the inside of turn 10. Marcel's going to try and hold it around the outside, and I think Sam Van Olst is going to slam that door firmly shut, and he does. Marcel Friesch down to P13. Sam Van Olst up into P12. Eric Manenveld has another look up the inside of turn 1. The 2 Hyundais really going at it. The Lurchus Academy cars are the ones with the green sunset on, the grey and green, as Burkhardt has just passed Majorek round the outside of turn 2 for P3 as Ika Lequay goes off onto the grass. They're going to have Burkhardt all over the back of them soon as Jerry Agard and Ika Lequay are fighting it out for the lead. Look, this is a fight we haven't seen much, and Agard's in P2. Burkhardt's going to know the struggle that Agard's been through, so he's not going to dangerously send it, you'd assume. But Ika Lequay fighting with all his might, and we've seen it before. Ika Lequay fighting for a race 3 or a reverse grid win as Stephen King and Cranston. Oh, there's contact there. John Bailiff and Duncan Murray come together. Jake Cranston's going to get caught up in that. He's on the grass. Duncan Murray runs Jake Cranston out wide, and Stephen King's going to come through and take advantage of that. I'm not sure how that contact started, but there's some more rubbing on the back straight as they come down. People need to know that there's cars there. Manenveld's round. We saw it. It was going to happen. Manenveld, was he optimistic? But there he is. His car is very much damaged. Dan Blake's going to come through. Pick a side, any side. Look at the damage on Taki's car. Jerry Agard and Morgan Burkhardt are going at it at the front. It's lap 2 of 11. Morgan Burkhardt on the inside of 9. Jerry Agard's going to hold it around the outside. He's got the inside of 10. Morgan Burkhardt swoops around the outside, and Jerry Agard's going to try and hold on to P2. There's places swapping all over the shop, and I'm not sure who to look at or what to watch, but Jerry Agard on the inside of turn 1. He's a respectful driver. He's not going to run Burkhardt off, but it is going to give Burkhardt the inside of turn 2, so you've got to assume Jerry may be losing out on P2 here. And is Joe Gibson going to fly through? No. So Jerry slots into P3. Morgan Burkhardt's been released, and now he's going to chase down Ika Lequay, who's currently leading lap 3 of 11 here at Canadian Tire. What a start. So much has happened. Marcel Friesch and Cranston are swapping over back there. There's more contact. There's another Pulsar's crash. Fear Factor's round. Marcel is going to come back on in front of Mats. That was close. Jake Cranston's involved. Connor Mills is involved. Oh no, we've seen those names involved too much. Connor Mills' wheels is off, and look at that. That is multiple cars again. It's clumsy stuff.
The yellow flag is out.
It really is clumsy stuff. What is happening indeed? About 3-4 cars ended up in the pits there. And we've got to keep an eye. Now that it's entering the second phase of this race, we've got to keep an eye on dangerous team play here. The safety car will be out probably for the full 3 laps, to be honest. It won't be shortened. Let's have a catch up and see. Listen to that engine. I love hearing that Porsche rev its way out. Quite a short track. There's the Porsche safety car. Ika Lequay catches up to the back of it. Let's have a look and see if we can catch up with any of this. that has happened so far in race 3. Jan Weiswanger, lap 1. Oh, Ridley and Mannenfeld nearly came together. Jan Weiswanger, is he the one that went flying off? He was. He survived that fairly easily. Stephen Burns went off behind him as well. Was he helped? That was Mod tackling Stephen Burns, I think. Oh no, Taki was in the wall. Bounced back out. Interesting stuff there. Eric Mannenfeld, what happened to him? Oh dear, I think Sam Van Alst again may be looked at for that. Let's just have a double check before I call him out on that, and it might not be his fault. Why is he moving over to the right? And then there's a tap, which keeps him to the right. And now what's Eric going to do? And he's gone right again. No need for that. That's going to be quite severe, I think, when he's so close to a quali ban. And he's doing it again, look. Yep. Well, you hate to see that for sure. Not sure what he was doing there. Corpus spins off. Have a look at that again in slow motion. Looks like he went to go across to Ridley. Went to go across to Ridley there. And his wheel's broken and around. And we still haven't seen. There it was. That was the one that we wanted to watch for. That'll be Connor, I think. By the way he dived in there. It'll be a long night indeed. But where are we at with these guys? The safety car is going to come in this lap. Didn't actually see what happened to Dan Downing though. Was it just all of these guys coming back on? Yes. Oh dear. Taking out his teammate there and Dan Downing. Well, that's how that that's how that race comes undone. So John Bailiff out, pretty much, and Dan Downing. Stewart is going to be busy indeed, but let's get back onto the race at hand. There are still 6 laps to go. The safety car will be in this lap. Equal leading the way in race 3 for the Audi, with Morgan Burkhardt right behind him, about to claw back some of the points he's lost in race 1 and 2. Austin Farr Racing 79 says 1 penalty point for that helmet. As we come into the final corners. Equal with Morgan Burkhardt right behind. Jerry Agard still there in P3. And I think he's gone for it. Equal has put the throttle down. Morgan Burkhardt right behind him. But Equal leads into turn 1, lap 6 of 11. It's going to be a tall ask, but can he do it? Morgan Burkhardt already looking to the inside of turn 2. I think it's going to be easily done, but it's going to give Ika the inside of turn 3 as they swoop down to this right-hander. He leans on him. Oh, that was quite fast on the exit of that corner. Morgan Burkhardt's going to brake as late as he dares. round the outside of Equiliquet as they head round into the next corner. Equiliquet is now going to be on the outside of the next corner. These two really going at it for the lead. Morgan Burkhardt still fighting Equiliquet as they head down. Look at that. Equiliquet swooping around the outside of turn 4 into turn 5, and he's going to keep the lead. Morgan Burkhardt's going to try and get a better exit out of turn 5 though as they swoop in. Jerry Agar still in P3 with Joe Gibson there in P4 and Andre Mayerek P5. Massive points for Team ORD as we head on to the back straight. Equiliquet comes to the inside. He's got Morgan Burkhardt right behind him now. This is what it looks like. They're side by side, so from Jerry's point of view, he's going to have the best seats in the house as Morgan Burkhardt comes over to the right-hand side to hold Lequay tight. It looks like Morgan Burkhardt's going to have the run. He's going to swoop round the outside of turn 8, and I think it's going to be done unless Lequay can get the power down, but it looks like Morgan Burkhardt's got the edge into turn 9. Lequay's going to break a little bit earlier, slot behind into turn 10, and he's going to try and hold on to P2 instead. Morgan Burkhardt takes the lead of this race. Jerry Agard now chasing his way through to try and get P2. This will be a career best if he can do this, I think. I don't think he's got a podium. This is going to be big celebrations. Equiliquet goes off onto the grass. Jerry Agard, the podiumless, we should call him for now. He's got Equiliquet on his inside. He's going to go on the grass. He's going to carry too much speed. No! Jerry Agard swooping around the outside of turn 2 on the inside of turn 3 to take P2 of race 3 here in the RLTC for the Masters of Traction Honda. Equiliquet drops down another position into P3. He's now going to have Joe Gibson and Andre Mayerek, the teammates of ORD, fighting behind him. Jan Weissmanger is in P18 with Mod Taki, so it's a better race 3 for those two. Jerry Agard has to watch his rear as Equiliquet had a quick look up the inside. King has passed Mayerek somewhere. It's on the inside of turn 5. Wow, Andre Mayerek's going to get a better exit though, and he might get the run down towards turn 8. And look who's coming through. It's the Meatball Motorsport of Kieran Dempsey with Duncan Murray behind and Kyle Ridley in P9. Alejandro Carade in P10. Damn, this has mixed up the order. I don't know what's going on and where all these people have changed places. But Jerry Agard is where all the eyes are as Morgan Burkhardt starts setting purple sectors. Jerry Agard is in P2. No podiums. 3 seasons with the racing line, 2 Jetta Cup seasons, his first RLT season, our first RLT season, as Joe Gibson's around the outside. No podiums for that man. I'm not trying to give a commentator's curse, I'm just trying to hype it up for what it's worth. The man deserves a podium, but can he get it done? Kieran Dempsey and Andre Mayerek getting extremely close, and Duncan Murray's going to send it to the inside of turn 1. Andre Mayerek's going to hold it around the outside. Kieran Dempsey is going to shut the door on the exit as Equiliquet goes off on the grass again. And that's going to make him under pressure from Joe Gibson. Equiliquet goes off. He's gone wide. He's carried too much speed. He's drifting round. Can he get it back on track safely? This is a fall from grace. He led the race. He started on pole. Andre Mayerek up the inside of Kieran Dempsey there in the foreground. Equiliquet, and Kieran Dempsey's gone off. I wonder if he was out there, but he's on the grass. Can he keep out of the wall? He can. Sam Van Olst is going to come through to take P8. The grass is lethal here. It's been warned many times in the briefing. Morgan Burkhardt sets the fastest lap with a 1:25.2. He looks fairly safe in the lead. Jerry Agard now solidly in P2, and Stephen King's going to join him on the podium. Where did he come from? Stephen King is up in P3. I don't even remember seeing him in any of this race. He's past the 2 ORD boys. Joe Gibson in P4, ORD 4th and 5th. Duncan Murray snuck up to P6, and Kyle Ridley's now in P7 with all of these people jumping around the order. Oh my God, Stephen Burns on the track map is way down. And I can't actually see him on the... Oh, of course, so there's a few guys that are a lap down. So I was wondering why he's not in last. You got Connor Mills and a few of them. Dan Downing all a lap down there from the earlier crash. Kyle Ridley looking to race Duncan Murray here with Sam Van Olst. He's in a Goldwing sandwich. Stephen King, surely. A 1:24.9 for Morgan Burkhardt there up the road. That is an absolute blistering lap time. But is Stephen King going to mug Jerry Agard of his P2? Dan Thornton is up here in P13. He's just past Equiliquet, I think. And now he's chasing down Kieran Dempsey and Stephen Fry in the Meatball Motorsport cars. It's lap 9 out of 11. The 2 Meatball Motorsport cars up the road are going at it. Equiliquet is going to try and fight his way back through. Cranston is moving back up the order after being involved in the earlier crash. He's just past Weisswanger in P18. Marcel Friesch was involved in the earlier crash. He's in P15 as he's about to swoop round the outside of Equiliquet and look up the inside of turn 5. Brakes nice and early, thinks better of it. No crash for that man. Stop talking about Jerry, says Bob _DFG. Let's let him get his podium. I'm trying, but he's coming under pressure. Stephen King's going to move to the inside. He's going to take P2 here, unless Jerry can hold it round the outside. Stephen King will be gutted if these two make contact for sure. But I wonder if Jerry is playing a damage limitation game here to get his first podium. He's let him have it. He has not fought that at all. He's in P3 though. He wants it badly. You can sense it. He's trying not to let it fumble, but is it going to get to his head? He's got 1 second back to Joe Gibson there in the Audi of Team ORD. Andre Mayerek and Kyle Ridley all in some good positions here. Dan Thornton, P13. Stephen Fry, P11. Mats Borg Anderson's back up into P10. He's gained 12 places this race. He started near the back. That's crazy stuff. Caraday in 9th. Van Olst in 8th. I mean, I've forgotten that the stewards' room is going to be busy after all this time. We've got 1 lap to go. 1 more lap. Mannenveld is swapping over with Dan Downing back here. Cranston and Taki have just swapped places. Where are they? They're going into turn 5. There's no bumper on that Audi. As Jake Cranston got pretty close to him on the exit of that corner. Where are they? Heading into turn 3. Rod Taki cannot fault that man's commitment, to be fair. Very early out in Malaysia. And it's great to have him here, it really is. I don't get to speak to all of the drivers regularly. As you see these two, Freesh. Oh, Stephen Fry! Oh! Stephen Fry round and collects Dan Blake. He's out of the race, he's missing a wheel. Dan Blake's going to try and get back in. I wonder when he's going to notice. When's he going to... Yeah, he's noticed. He's got no wheel. Dan Blake was actually kind of, I want to say, lucky. Did he survive that? What happened here? Stephen Fry was in a good position. Breaks on the grass. Goes even further out. Keeps it out of the wall. And as he comes back on, just spins round. And then everyone, Constantina effect up. Dan Blake comes out the worst of that, obviously apart from Stephen, who started the whole thing. It is white flag. It is the last lap. And Jerry Agard, this is what it looks like on the back of Jerry's car. Lap 11 of 11. Joe Gibson, 7/10 back. Stephen King, 7/10 up the road. So that was always going to happen, I think. I think he'd done the right thing in not fighting that, because he would have lost this gap to Joe and put himself under pressure. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. He's only got a few corners left, and look at Joe. He's absolutely pushing. He's going to be getting a bit of tow, is Jerry, from the car in front. And there he goes. But Morgan Burkhard, your current race leader, he's coming flying through turn 9. He's flying through turn 10. He comes around the final corner, and after a crash in race 1 and starting dead last, his climb back to fame, he's done it. He's taken the win in race 3 round Canadian Tire, and second place is going to go to Stephen King, and third place for the first time in Racing Line history, Jerry Agard. It says handsome dude on the bonnet of his car for Masters Attraction. Look at him weaving and flashing his lights. He's got a podium to his name. Jerry Agard, the Swiss driver. He's waited 3 long seasons for this. He has been a supporter of the channel for absolute time from the beginning. And oh man, he came so close in the Jetta Cup Season 1. Round one of his favourite tracks, the Nürburgring, and he got taken out on the last corner of the last lap and went from 3rd to 7th, where he regularly finished in the Jetta Cup around that top 10 area, but just not quite in the podiums. He never could break that podium. Whenever it happened, something would go wrong, and here he is, absolutely over the moon. Genuinely, I feel so stupid, but I'm genuinely a little bit emotional. I'm not even making this up. Man, it's been so long. Jetta Cup Season 1, when was that? That was this time last year. It was a year ago. We started that a year ago. Mad. But we can't forget Morgan Burkhardt from last in race 1. Back up to the top step. I think he's going to do some donuts for us. Ooh. This is the best attempt. Oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. Has he got it round? Ooh. I imagine I imagine they will this is going to be a weird one in chat I can think of. So they're all obviously talking, they'll all talk in game chat and Discord. But from whatever chaos happened in race 3 and all those crashes, I imagine it got pretty sweary. Kakala jumped in chat and said it's getting pretty aggressive. I can hear it now. I can imagine what they were saying. But I think it's changed. I think the tone would have changed to elation if they've just seen this. If they're listening to this, maybe it's all taken the focus off of that big mess earlier on in the race. And I thank all of you who have watched this so far. We're on round 7. Round 7 has finished. We go to round 8 next. Calendar looks like this. Next week, Monday, same time, Watkins Glen. The Cup layout. On the 4th of April. And then a week after that, we head to Laguna Seca for round 9 before we take one more break. Oh, of course, of course. I'm just sorry, Martin. I am sorry. Let me get that to you right now. Martin has very rightly called me out on Twitch for not putting this cheeky little link. For those of you that don't know what that link does, it's to vote driver of the day. Need I ask? No, I'm not going to influence it. You vote for who you want. I'm not sure that link's gone to everyone. It's showing up that one of the Twitch channels has not posted it, so I'll try it again. Oh, same thing. Doesn't matter. If you're watching on either of the YouTube channel or one of the Twitch channels, I'm not sure which one worked, but the straw poll link that you see there is to vote your driver of the day. All of the drivers are on there, actually, except for Jan Weiswanger, who needs to be added. Yeah. Crazy stuff. But there you go. 5 rounds to go. Watkins Glen, Laguna Seca, Interlagos, Twin Ring, Motegi and Phillip Island to round off the championship. And then we'll all celebrate our champion and all of our drivers who've taken part throughout the season on the 16th of May for a 100-kilometre race around Bathurst in these cars. Whilst I let those votes pile up and count, I think it's time to have one last look at the results. And then, of course, driver interviews. Look how far back they start here. Right round the corner. F1 Delta says none of them deserve driver of the day. How can he say that after what we've just witnessed? Jerry Agard's first podium in a year. Madness. Let's have a look at the results. The results. Let's get that music back on, which I did leave during the race. Again, I keep doing that. Remind me quicker next time, chat, about that music during the race. It's my fault. Laps. There's just so much going on. So much going on. Right. Your race 3 results. They look like this. Get those votes in. That's not the result I want. That just looks like a Hyundai championship. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. Morgan Burkhardt, Stephen King and Jerry Agard, your top 3. Another Audi, Hyundai, Honda podium. 1 car each. Joe Gibson and Andre Mayrek, your top 5. Murray and Van Olst, top 7. Ridley in top 8. Anderson and Caraday round off your top 10. Dempsey in 11th. LeQuay 12th. Frisch 13th. Cranston 14th. Thornton, Taki, Bailiff, Weisfanger finishing 18th on his race debut. Burns, Blake, Fry, Mills, Downing, Mannenfeld and Corpus round off your field a lap down after being involved in multiple crashes there. But rejoining the race, I'll tell you what, actually, after seeing that, Stephen Fry has done well there to come out in 21st. So after spinning and losing his wheel, he actually came out in front of the other 4 involved in the other crashes. Not sure how he did that. I wonder if the safety car had an effect. Martin says it's his fault about the music. Didn't remind me early enough. I should just remember. I even got told before the race started, don't forget the music in race 3. And I remembered during the break, and then as soon as the race started, forgot. Right, interview time. Interview time, then driver of the day announcement. Click that link if you haven't already. Vote that driver of the day, people. They deserve your votes. 3 intense races, a practice and a qualifying. Let's talk to someone. Who is in Discord? Who is ready in Discord? Let's have a look. I just need to remind myself. I'm genuinely, you can probably hear it, I'm so lost right now. So we've got Jake Cranston, was winner of race 1. And then it was Connor Mills, and then Morgan Burkhardt. So let's bring them in together again. I don't know if they feel awkward whenever I do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Both together, the All Sports Racing pair, and both race winners today. It is Jake Cranston and Morgan Burkhardt. Morgan, I'm going to start with you. After race 1, did you see it going this way?
No, not at all. After race 1, I made some mistakes early on, and I got shuffled back, and then had a little incident. I think it was with Joseph going into turn 2, and I didn't expect him to brake, and I was starting to back off, and I didn't brake enough. I got into the back of him, and then I got pushed off, and then getting back on the track, had a meatball. So kind of ruined that one from the start. But yeah, just head down race 2, get as far at the field we could go, and then in race 3. Just kind of got lucky with the stuff that happened.
I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better race too, really. 25th to, I think, was it 8th in the end?
8th and 9th, yeah.
Yeah, and it looked like, I mean, you were closing in. There was about a second gap towards the end of the race. A second gap. You were in 13th, and you were chasing Corpus and Agard. And then all of a sudden, in the last few laps, just up ahead, people just started going off. People hit into each other. I think Sam Van Olst and Jerry came into contact, and you ended up gaining 4 or 5 places in that last few laps, which was crazy to see. But then, as you said, it sets up your race 3 nicely. How was it racing Mr. LeQuay and Agard for a win?
I love it. I love racing them the most out of this field. Haven't really raced them yet this season, and I do it every single day. They're an absolute blast to race against. There's a lot of respect. You can go side by side through the corners and not have to worry about contacts, and it's awesome.
Perfect answer. Over to you then, Mr. Cranston. We haven't forgotten that you're here. What race 1 winner, second place in race 2, and then a dramatic race 3, but still a big points haul, I think, overall. You stayed in the race. You came home in 14th this time round. Talk us through race 1 at first. 4 seconds or something? 5 seconds pulled away from start to finish.
Yeah, so obviously Morgan got a better start in the Audi and got ahead, and I think my pace was slightly better at the start of the race, so we decided to swap, and Matt's put a dive bomb in. I think there was a bit of netcode, and there was an incident behind. It gave me a gap to split the slipstream, and then I just kept extending that with the pace from qualifying and managed to stay ahead.
And then race 2, sort of scythed your way through pretty early, and then the gap. I mean, from the pace that we saw in race 1, I thought the gap was going to close, but it tended to hover around 1.5 seconds for most of the race to Mills in race 2. Did you use up all your tyres early on in the race, or was the pace just too even to make a big difference?
No, I don't know what it was. I think the track conditions changed for race 2 because I couldn't get under a 25.4 the whole race, and me and Connor were banging out the 25.4, 25.6s, that sort of range, 25.5, and we kept the gap exactly the same. We were almost identical on pace and couldn't go any faster, so I'm not really sure. Maybe it got a bit too hot.
I'm not sure what the fastest lap times were in race 1 or 2, but I definitely saw a 24.9 from a Mr. Burkhardt in race 3. Did we see any of those in race 1 or 2?
The track conditions in race 3 was just perfect. Morgan got a 24.9. I was just behind him on that. The
25.001 or something.
Yeah, race 2 was a 25.4 and race 1 was a 25.2.
The all sports car going well. Where was Huffman today?
Well, that's not really a long story at all. He got home. Well, was on the way for getting home from school. There was an accident in front of him, about 5 cars ahead, and it made him about 3 minutes late, and he just missed the cutoff point for qualifying. So sad times.
Does it not let you in after qualifying?
Nope. As soon as qualifying is over, it slams the door.
Oh, that's annoying. Frustrating. Just for you, Jake. Restream has said 100 messages received today. I saw you do the bingo card, so there you go. Have that one. Tick that off.
Yeah, well, no one can get bingo because Donnie's not here and Damien's not here. So.
Oh, I didn't read all of the squares. I just knew there was a few. But glad to speak to you both. Congratulations again on another couple of wins to your tally. Before I let you go, is there anything you want to say? Anyone you want to say thank you to or hello to before I let you go?
Yeah, I'd just like to dedicate my race 1 win to Taylor Hawkins, a fellow drummer of mine. A big inspiration of mine, and sad to see him go, so rest in peace.
Yeah, I can see the logo on the back of your car. It was sad news indeed for drummers and musicians everywhere. Over to you, Morgan.
Yeah, with that, and just dedicate that one to Taylor. And just thanking the rest of the team for the support and all the hard work. And hopefully we can come back to Pulses and Fear Factor in the latter half of the season.
I'm sure you will. You're not going to let it go. It will come back your way. There's plenty of races to go, and we can just see how quick it changes. So thank you both. I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's those two, and I think there's only one other person that we need to speak to, I think, today. Let me just check the old poll. Polly Rooney. Where did we get to? No way. Where are your votes, people? Get these votes. I'm not trying to fix it, but this is just a con that this is the result. There's only, just as an example, there is only 7 votes have been put into this link. That has gone to everyone this time. I can see at least 30 of you watching. 7 voters. 30 of you watching. 25 drivers, and I bet those guys have voted. And I'll just watch that alter before we talk to our. Let's talk to our final driver. It needs to be done. Let's hear. If he's not happy, I'm gonna be absolutely blown away. But it's Masters Attraction driver Jerry Agard with his first ever podium after a year of racing with us. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling so happy, man. I'm still buzzing. My heart rate hasn't gone down. It's just crazy. Such an amazing feeling.
It's been a long time coming, Jerry, and as well, you know more than most. Obviously, really close to one before. Didn't go your way. This time, you were fighting Lequay for the lead at times, and then Burkhardt chasing you down. And then I want to talk to you. So Stephen King then was next up. So it looks like you'd settled for P2 after Ika made a few mistakes. He threw it off the road. You were firmly in second place. Morgan was going to drive off, and then you had Mr. King chasing you down. Now, it didn't. Was it just a matter of tyres? It didn't look like you fought it too hard. Were you so busy trying to get that podium that you kind of just settled for third?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. If you see Stephen King in your rear view mirror, then you know he's gonna probably get you. And I knew I shouldn't fight him too hard because I didn't want to lose the podium. So I let him pass on the straight. I bottled up every lap. Those double right-handers, they are so tricky. So he got a good drive out of those, and he overtook me on the straight. And I just tried to keep in his draft. So I think Joseph was in P4. He couldn't get me, and it worked quite well. So I'm really happy.
Great stuff. And then, yeah, it was just watching Joe. I think he was trying to close in on you at the end. 6 temps by the time you got to the back straight. Talk us through your mindset. Like, was you starting to panic? You said your heart rate was up. Was you just keeping it cool from that point, or was you starting to panic when it was like 1 lap to go and you had someone right behind you again?
Yeah, I was quite panicking because I saw like Joseph closing, but I think the draft from Steven worked, so I could get away again. And then when we entered the last lap, I think Joseph did a mistake, and then I was free to drive away, and so I got the P3. It was really nice to race those guys up front. It's just a different kind of racing. So much respect. Hats off also to Borgen Merkard. It was so good racing him. We went side by side for almost a whole lap, so it was really, really great.
I can tell you that there have been more votes coming in for the driver of the day. I can't really announce it because with 30% of the votes each is you and a well-known South African driver. It's very, very much neck and neck. You got Mats Borg Anderson and Stephen King with 15% of the votes each, and 7% went to Sam Van Ulst, so we can assume that he voted for himself. But you and Duncan at the moment are on 30% each. I feel like I have to wait for chat to just swing this by 1 vote to announce it. But
that's fine.
Even if you don't get it, of course, congratulations on your podium. Is there anyone that you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
Yeah, I should say thank you to my girlfriend, even though she is not watching, and she could have been voting now, but she is not. Thank you to her for letting me do this kind of stuff, and thank you again to you, Jack. It's amazing what you do every Monday, so thank you a lot.
No worries, Jerry. Thank you for joining us. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers.
There he goes, Strayguard. Right. Sorry, I went to catch up on Discord then, but it is not time to catch up on Discord. It's time to say farewell to you lovely lot. Whether you're watching with us on the Racing Line YouTube or Twitch, or the VCO eSports YouTube and Twitch, thank you all for joining. Thank you for joining in chat as well. It's good to see more of you joining in chat. I'll always try and answer your questions, even if I've answered them before. On to round 8 next, Watkins Glen next week. As usual, that is pretty much it from me. If I don't see you on chat this week, then I'll see you next week for the next round here on the RLTC. On the Racing Line. Peace. See you next week, guys. Thank you for joining.